It's time for another episode of Smarthome Riggs, the podcast. Smarthome Riggs, helping your smart home tech work for you. Hello, everybody. Steve here, and our guest today again is my brother, Rennie.
Hey, everybody. Just give me a second to get set up here. Okay, so I'm opening the Zoom meeting on my laptop, and I've just plugged in the Yeti microphone, which you said is just going to work. So we're going to see.
I'm admitting you.
My input is set for microphone, and my output is set for. So does that mean that the output's coming through my headphones and not?
Do you have your cameras recording?
No, I'm starting that right now.
Okay. I started recording the Zoom, then I started recording the side cameras. This is the
They did not start at the same time. Just so you know.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It only matters that the main audio, which is the Zoom, it only matters that is the one that is the longest, because then I'll use that to synchronize the other ones off of.
The audio that I hear just now from you, just a moment ago when you were talking, I heard two digital artifacting in the audio that I never heard on the show.
Try to see if you can turn the volume up on your headphones, maybe.
Or no, it's not a problem. I'm hearing you. It's that it was a digital glitch. Like
Gotcha.
Went Battlestar Galactica for half a second.
Battlestar Galactica.
Right. Had to take you all the way back. Look, I still have this.
What is that?
This is the life jacket. The life jacket.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It went around the iPhone 4 life-proof case. And biggest flaw of this, yes, it floats, but because it's designed to give a cushion on the back and still allow you to see the screen.
It floats face down.
Face down, yeah. But I was thinking about taking this lanyard off and putting it on my gimbal arm.
Yeah.
I don't have a strap on it, so
yeah.
I thought it'd be kind of cute to put this one on.
You don't have a strap on it because I removed the strap and put it on the other gimbal.
Of course. I would expect nothing less. I would think less of you had you not done that. The fact that in my eyes, what that means is that you bought yourself a lanyard and a case and gave me the gimbal that came with it. It's really,
I was hoping you would see it just that way.
How could you not? I mean, it just showed up. I wasn't even consulted on this. Hey, would you like a gimbal? No. So I have it strapped to the actual Yeti mic right now, so that this shot right here is right over the microphone. This shot over here is the shot that I usually do my intros and outros for the video, because it shows my whole desk here, and you can see my guitars behind me, and then this is right in front of me here, where you can see the door behind me.
Yeah. Well, mine is this angle coming from the camera, so you can see my mini bar behind me and the two guitars, the hallway and the bathroom, and then my B-roll over here is shooting this way, so it shows the hallway door and the TV and the table over there, and this B-roll here is showing my computer setup, so you can see my iMac and my dual screens and my iPad on the top there. You're in the Zoom meeting over here on my screen, so you're captured by the Zoom as well as this camera, because you can see you on the screen. That allows you. Is this going downhill?
No, I'm sending a message that I'm turning the AC off because we're recording.
Gotcha.
So now that I've told her I'm doing it, now I'm doing it.
That's good. Tell her first.
Yes. Well, I gave you 5 seconds to say no. So I was talking to Penny about the next podcast we did, and I was like, I wanted to talk about what smart home stuff you really like what's the most universally pleasing. And she was like, I'm the wrong person to ask. I was like, no, you're absolutely the right person to ask for that very reason. What is it that you don't find offensive that we put in? What have I put in that you find actually useful, that you see yourself using on a regular basis? And she was like, by far that would be the thermostat and the Echo clock. Believe it or not, fought me on it, but she said, I'm not gonna lie, when I'm in the kitchen and I set a timer for it, I love being able to look up there and go, okay, I've still got 4 minutes, so I can do this or that.
Yeah, I use that clock all the time for different timers for, Tommy going to bed, when we're cooking. I love that.
Right. I'll give you 5 more minutes. I want you to see it.
Yeah. I've
The
got one
time
in
is
my
ticking away.
I've got one in my office. I got one in my dining room. I've got one in the kitchen. I've got one in my bedroom. I've got one in Tommy's bedroom. I've got one in the bathroom.
Right. And cameras.
Yeah.
She loves the fact that she can see if the delivery guy gets here or if the mailman got here
Is
or
it something I need to go upstairs for? Yeah.
right. Right. And so it got me thinking of not just what's good entry level smart home tech for people to think about. If you're trying to take care of somebody, maybe your folks are getting on an age. Maybe they don't have as many people coming by that can help them do all sorts of things around the house. What do you think would be the most useful starter kit for someone? And it really got me thinking that these are probably the first things that I would suggest, because a thermostat means that you can keep an eye on the temperature remotely. If it's too hot and they don't want to get out of bed or can't get out of bed, you can adjust it from there. The clock is something that is easy to see times when you're supposed to take your medication, or if you're supposed to be somewhere at a certain time. You want to have good timers that are easy to see. Cameras on the house certainly made me feel safer when I wasn't at this location. I love
Sure.
being able to
No, all your stuff is safe for sure.
yeah, we left the house. Oh, I forgot to turn that thermostat down. Oh, no problem. I got it right here. Boom. I just turned it off. We just saved electricity for the next 4 days that we're out of town.
Right.
When we're on our way back, as long as I turn it back on and set our temperature an hour before we get home, I don't even notice that it was ever off.
Yeah.
And I've saved all that energy. And smart plugs, the having plugs that I can turn on and off, whether it's the cabinet light in the curio cabinet or the lights in my office when I walk in to go get something out of the refrigerator in the back. That little motion sensor over the door does a fantastic job of triggering that plug and that plug. And as long as it sees motion, it'll keep it on until it's off for 10 minutes. I really love that. I like having a plug on the air freshener that I can just tell it to turn on the air freshener and it'll come on. I don't have to have it on all the time. Sometimes it's overpowering. So if I were going to put together a package for somebody just to start out, I'd have to say a Dot, because that's the cheapest smart speaker that has the most functionality. A thermostat of some kind. I'm using the Wise thermostat. You're using the Nest thermostat. The Echo clocks, we both have plenty.
Yeah.
I've got two. I've got one for my office so that I know when my lunch and my breaks are over. I got one in the kitchen, but now Penny wants one for the bedroom so she can set timers in there and be able to see. That would be really convenient. But yeah, a Dot, a clock, a thermostat, a camera, at least one to start, and a plug. And then you'll realize whether it is something you want to embrace or it isn't something you want to embrace.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kelly's mom is not really into technology. She's fine with not having a smart home.
Mhm.
And so I started out small. I got her just one of the little dots that she can check the weather and stuff like that and ask questions, who's in this movie, what else was this person in, that kind of stuff. It was super helpful for her to do that. I got her a show 5 so that she can drop in, Kelly can drop in on her and they can have face-to-face conversations that way. And she's got a plug so that I said, what's the hardest lamp to turn on? She goes, this one. But I mean, if I lean on this chair and reach over, I can turn it on. It's not a big deal. And so I put a switch in there. I said, now tell the robot overlord to go ahead and turn it off. And she did, and it worked. And she was like, okay, that's helpful. And every time we go and eat over at her house, the light above the dining room table is like, because I'm taller than any of them, it's literally right in my eye. And so we have other lights on, and we have to turn that one off because it's blinding. I can't enjoy my meal with it blinding me in my eye. So
Right.
I said, I'm going to put a smart bulb in here. And she goes, I don't want to have to turn down the light with my voice. And I said, well, great, because you won't have to. I got a Philips hub that I'm not using. I've got Philips smart bulbs. You know, I've got some white ones that I'm reclaiming because I'm testing out these wise bulbs right now. So I'm replacing some of the ones that I had in closets that were all
Right.
white bulbs because she's not going to care about colors. So I got a couple of white bulbs. I'm going to put them down in her basement because she has those little pull strings around her basement that she has to go run around and pull to turn them on because there's no light switches. They're all just sockets. So I'm going to put smart bulbs in those, and I'm going to put a smart bulb in that dining room that keeps blinding me, and put an Aurora switch right on her flip switch, so that for all intents and purposes, it will be. I've installed a dimmer switch. She'll walk over,
Right.
she can hit it on, she can hit it off, but when we eat, we can turn it down, and they can still have light, but it's not blinding me. And then when my kid goes down to play in the basement, which is where he's hidden all of his toys, you know, he's got a batting tee, there's a bike down there, so he can play around down there. That's his domain. He doesn't have to run around and pull all these little pull chains. He'll be able to just hit the little Phillips button at the base of the stairs and turn on all the lights or dim the lights or turn the lights off. And if he forgets, she can just, you know, tell Alexa to do it from upstairs and it'll automatically turn off the
Got to
lights.
get a little flex for the basement, plug it in down there so you can just say, let there be light.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Have it run a routine.
I got a couple of the older dots that I can probably put one down there for sure. Yeah, I gave her two flex. So she's got one in both of her bathrooms, and she said
Yeah.
she loves that. She goes in the morning
Yeah.
and she's able to check the weather and stuff while she's getting ready for the day. It's awesome.
I, I love being able to tell it to turn the lights off in other rooms while I'm brushing my teeth or brushing my hair or whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about setting up the Philips Hue and that light that I was telling you about. That's going to be one of the videos that I make that we put up on the channel, and it's going to be tech for people who don't like tech.
For my Texas friends.
Yeah, for smart home for the people who don't like smart home.
Yeah, sneaky smart home.
Yeah.
You know, the flick button that you sent me, I recall.
How's that working out for you, by the way?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I can turn on all my lights. Whenever I'm ready to record, I just press it one time and it automatically, like, here, I'll show you how to take the lights down in here. I can double click this and it automatically drops the lights down.
Oh, nice.
And if I press and hold it, it takes them all down, turns off the other ones. The only thing on now is my my Wise project light. If I turn that off, I'm all the way in the dark. But if I'm ready to record, let's say I just wanted to bring it up to the dimmest setting, I could just double click and it'll just bring it up to just a night light glow around. And if I'm ready to record, I just press it one time and it automatically turns on all these lights. And then the only fill light I have to turn on is my project light because it's not smart. It's Bluetooth. It's awesome, but it's not controllable by she who shall not be named.
Yeah. That's
But I remember that when you sent me this button, it took me a solid month to figure out what it is that I wanted to do with it.
Well, I remember you saying, you were like, what am I supposed to do with this? And I was like, I use it for any of your routines. I was like, what is it?
Yeah.
5 minutes later, you had all of them already programmed.
So now you sent me this one. Now I have precious three more clicks I can program. I don't want to just assign them to any old thing. You know, I thought, ooh, I could just have it turn on the red light out there so that Stella knows that I'm recording. But I thought, no, I should just roll that into the single click that turns on all these lights. I need something else.
If I hit the one, it'll automatically do that. Yeah.
Right. Don't waste it on that. Just roll that into another routine.
Well, and since that one, and that's the original, but it's still before they had the hub. It's the rounded top, not the flat top buttons. Those flick buttons, since they're Bluetooth and they pair to your phone, you could actually use that on your motorcycle. So if you put that on the yoke of your handlebars, you know where that little screw is. If you put that right there, then while you're riding your motorcycle, if you hit that button, it could either pause your music or fast forward or answer a call or hang up a call or send a text to somebody that I'm riding my bike. Don't bother me. All kinds of things you can do with it. It's amazing.
I wonder if
all
it
the
triggered
things
my
you can-
shortcut. I got a shortcut programmed in my phone that automatically, if you were like, "Hey, I'm at your house. Where are you at?" I don't know how long it'll take me to get home from where I'm
Oh
at,
yeah,
but if I press this shortcut, it'll automatically GPS where I'm at, how long it takes for me to get home, and then add 5 minutes for traffic and put it all in a text message. All I have to do is just address it to you and send it.
that's awesome. Yeah, so I the reason you have those two flick buttons is because I ordered the new flick buttons, the new flick 2 flat top buttons.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the hub because the hub allows you not only to use the Alexa routines like you're using there, but it's also going to be HomeKit compatible. So all the routines that I've created through Siri and the shortcuts, it'll allow me to
Will
use
these
those
pair to the hub?
routines. I think those will pair with the hub.
I thought I heard that they did as well, and I've been looking for a hub. I haven't found a hub cheap enough. I'm still looking.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
like how they're magnetic. I can just any of my magnet mounts for my phone, I can just stick it right on it.
yeah, I ordered the set that comes with 4 buttons and the hub, but because of the COVID, everything has been delayed.
Right.
So we'll see how that all works out.
I love the buttons. Huge fan.
Hey, we're up to 125 subscribers. We had 124 earlier today, but we just went up to 125.
Nice. Love being able to see that change.
Right?
I had a Amazon representative that was doing troubleshooting for one of my Fire Sticks that apparently has a memory issue that hard resetting it will not fix. So they've given me a discount on buying a replacement if I would like to, of any kind, which I thought was pretty nice. But when he remoted into it, I happened to be listening to one of our podcasts and our logo is up there. And he was like, "Man, that's a really nice logo you got there." I was like, "Oh, thanks. We appreciate it." And then he was like, "So what's your, is it called Smarthome Riggs? Because it says it right there under the logo on the podcast." And I was like, "Yeah, we got a YouTube channel too." And he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to check it out." And then 2 days later, he had called me back to check on whether the hard reset did fix it. And no, it didn't. And he was like, "Hey, I checked out your video. That's not bad." I was like, "Yeah, we having fun during the pandemic, trying to
You should have said
get in
that
where we fit in."
yeah, we were going to do a video on the Fire Stick, but you know how that worked out.
Yeah. I want to do a video on the Fire Stick pairing the speakers, but the Insignia brand TV is not officially supported by Amazon, and it doesn't pair to the speakers that way.
Yeah, it's not an actual Fire TV. It's a TV with Fire Stick built in.
Right. But it doesn't do the one thing that every other Fire Stick will do, which is allow me to pair to 2 speakers in succession. But I can still get a $16 Bluetooth dongle and pair to that and plug that into a dot or plug it into a splitter that splits to 2 dots.
So
It's sad that I could.
So you've outsmarted
I
them
could
for
plug it into-
$17.
Yeah, I could plug it into my JBL Flip 2 and have it in series in stereo to another one through Bluetooth. I can do that.
Those guys at Insignia are all like sitting around the table going, no. Let's make sure you can't pair the speakers. That way they have to buy a sound bar or something from us.
Oh,
And Ray's at home going, how can I outsmart you for less than $20?
help me out here, internet.
Yeah.
What else out there?
That's what the interweb is for.
That's right. I hear dad in my head every day. Son, I think the internet was invented for that question.
Exactly.
I think you're right.
Exactly. Every time I add a new piece of technology, I always think I'm one step closer to that future home. The one we were
Right.
always told about when we were kids with the jetpacks and the flying cars that we don't have, although they have flying cars. I've seen the videos on YouTube. I don't know how far we are away from actually having them, but I've seen them.
In a jetpack.
No. Flying cars, like honest to God, flying cars. I
Right,
saw
but I've
somebody.
seen a jetpack too.
Oh, yeah. But not like, the jetpacks. Aside from that guy in Dubai who jumps out of a plane and then can fly around, that guy just fascinates me. The jet guy that you saw flying around.
Yeah.
Dubai. I don't know if you saw that guy, but he was amazing. But when you think jetpacks, you think like Rocket Man. Like I'm gonna strap this on
Buck
there and
Rogers.
just like exactly. Exactly. Michael Jackson leaving the stadium. Was that wires? Is that real? Did jetpacks really exist?
They do in the water.
Yes, they do. They do in the water. But for the rest of us, not so much. Not yet.
Yeah, not
But
yet.
it's gonna be.
They're working on it. Trust me, they are working on it.
It's gonna be coming for sure. I turned off all the voice commands because I was paranoid. I was watching some video and some guy was doing a GoPro and somebody walked by and just said one of the commands that turned his camera off, and he was like, "Son of a!" I was like, "That's your bad. Why did you have that setting on? If you're in your own room and you're in a studio or a controlled environment, then you can have the voice commands all day long. But you're out with people, and people are going to mess with you."
Or like, what was that? They were filming at a protest, one of the protests I saw on TV, and somebody walked up and they started playing the Beatles music on their phone because they knew it would get a strike and would be taken offline.
Because of the copyright.
Yeah, because apparently the bots
awesome.
listen for Beatles more than anything. Like, oh, I recognize that. You're out.
That's because the people that own the Beatles will sue you.
That's right. They paid a lot of money to have those guys watching out.
I own the royalties. I will sue you. I was in Chicago one time, and we're walking down the street, and there's this whole group of people standing outside of a bus, and they hand the camera to somebody to take their picture, and the guy is just sitting here holding the camera and just looking at the camera like he's never seen a camera ever in the history of ever. And this isn't like a flashy big EOS,
just a little point and shoot
DSLR camera. No, yeah, it's a point and shoot. So there's literally just the one button and the little slider that does the wide and the T, wide and tight. That's pretty much it. And they're all like, just take the picture, and he's sitting here just looking at the camera like is it going to tell me what I'm supposed to do to take the picture? And as we're walking by, I just said it's in the upper right where it's always been since the beginning of time, and just kept on walking. And like everybody in the group was like, seriously, that's exactly what we were saying. Yeah, it's not that difficult, or it shouldn't be. I mean, clearly it was for this.
I remember we were in a restaurant one time and I handed my phone to the waitress to take a picture of us at the table. And every time she went to take the picture, she pressed the home button on the phone instead of the picture circle that we're like, it's the white circle right here. Oh, okay. Circle. And every time she would just take, let me
back
just
out of the camera
and camera. Okay. Oh, you've lined up again. Okay. Hang on. Let me just go ahead and close out of the camera.
That's why I don't even tell them. Just hit the volume button.
Yeah. I was so happy when we found out that the volume up would take that picture like a camera. Yeah. Oh, it's made my life so much easier having somebody take a picture. Although now I've just decided that I am the human tripod and I will just take the picture like that now because I don't trust people.
That's my favorite thing when somebody's out and they're like, would you mind taking our picture? And they hand you their phone. I always reverse the camera and take a picture of me and then reverse it again and take a couple of pictures of them. That way, when they get home, they're like, oh, that's the guy that took our picture.
I'm going to start doing that. Oh, that's a good one.
It's the greatest because you just reverse it, take a picture of you, reverse it again, and then take like 3 or 4 pictures of them. That way, hang on, let me get one more just in case somebody's blinking, so that they look back. They only look at the first couple ones and then they go back and they're like, he took a picture of himself.
Nice.
They're like, yeah, some guy took a picture. Was it like some guy? Yeah. They're like, oh, look, here he is. That guy.
That guy. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. And I'm, let's see here. I'm exactly 2 feet away from that thing right now.
Wow. That's crazy. I am 3 fingers away from my mic, but I'm using the Rode Pod mic.
I'm using the one your brother showed your love with. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Well, after the podcast where we were using the headphone mic, it didn't sound near as good as the Plantronic mic. And I thought, I need to send him the same mic that I was using.
This climbed me all the way up there. It's a blue mic. What is that? The Yeti
It's the Blue Yeti Blackout Edition.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, it's a good mic. I got the Blue Yeti Pro. That's what it is. The Yeti Pro, because it has
Is that the
the
one with the chrome on it?
it's yeah, but I could care less about the Chrome. What I cared more about was the Yeti specific 5-pin XLR stereo cable that came out of the back of it that allows you to plug it into the actual Rodecaster and an XLR plug as opposed to just being a USB mic. It has USB on it as well,
Oh, nice.
but unlike the Shure mic that allows you to do USB and XLR at the same time, so I can go into my computer or into my Rodecaster and do them both at the exact same time because both of them are working in concert. Although I don't understand why Shure would put a micro USB on a microphone that came out in the last 2 years. Why wouldn't it be
Right.
USB-C? Why wouldn't you future proof that? I don't know. But
Totally should.
they really should. But the 5-pin XLR is stereo, so it has a right XLR and a left XLR. So even though they're both mono together, they make stereo. So, but I found a 5-pin cable that goes 5-pin XLR down to just the 3-pin XLR. So I'm going to do that and run that through. That way I can test it out and see. Because sometimes you want to use the Yeti mic. Sometimes I want to use the pod mic. Sometimes I'll probably use the Shure mic. I'm bouncing around trying to figure out exactly which one I like the best. But this pod mic, I got to say, I was zero expectations that it was going to be amazing. And I was listening to the YouTube channel, Tom Buck was telling me about the podcast mic, and it was comparing it with the Shure mic that I already had. And the Shure mic requires the phantom power, and this didn't require phantom power. And in the Rodecaster, there's an actual setting for all of the Rode mics. So they've already figured out how to make it sound the best. So you just hit a button and then you can tweak it from there if you need to, but it sounds amazing. And when I was looking at the commercial for the crank anchors, they're apparently bringing back crank anchors, and Jimmy Kimmel was doing one of the voices, and I was like, son of a gun, he's using the pod mic. I got one originally just so Tommy and I didn't have to share a mic. I was using the Yeti and I was putting it in dual mode so that we could both be using it, but Tommy and I's faces were Tommy and I were like right next to each other, so we could both use the same mic. So I got the other pod mic for him, and I was like, man, that really does sound good. So I ended up getting one for me too. So now I've got two of them. Have you ever tried to go back and play the Electric Company or Sesame Street or any of that stuff to kids these days? They're like, if it doesn't have a robot or computers, or
it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. Merry Melody cartoons are a tough sell to this age.
Looney Tunes.
I understand
that the greatest thing about the Looney Tunes cartoons, like Tom and Jerry and stuff like that, they didn't have, aside from the housekeeper that screamed at Thomas.
Right.
Everything else was just music and emotion on and expressions on the characters, and it translated so well that they played it in like 19 different countries and languages because you didn't have to change anything.
Right.
It was universal and everybody loved them. And I showed them to my kid, and my kid's like, I don't get it.
Yeah. I think it's convenient at least that you can bring up Airy TV, AIRY.TV. You can just bring it up on a computer. You can download the app, and it's free TV. It's kind of like Pluto, but they've got like retro throwback stations where you can like, oh, you were a child of the 70s? Oh, let me just bring up the 70s. Oh, wow, Mannix, Simon and Simon. Like, what? Marcus Welby, get out of here. Like, seriously, they've got like genres for every decade. You can just look it up and bring up the shows of yesteryear. They're running right now. I was like, this is a fantastically stupid waste of time.
Right.
But I have to have it. To have it.
How can you not?
Right. I hear JT Rose in my head. I'd rather have it, not want it, than want it, not have it.
Absolutely. I found Me TV and Cozy TV. So they had the old Macmillan and Wife and Kojak, and
oh yeah,
it was good times.
I liked in
McLeod. That was the other one.
Yeah. In Dallas, Tracy was like complaining about he wasn't getting all the channels on his AC antenna. I was like, you live in a low cast city. He was
Aren't
like,
you using that?
what does that mean? I was like, lowcast.org, man. Check it out. Download the Lowcast app on your Fire Stick. Anything that's local, you can just have it across the internet for free. It's just right there. And he's like, what? We installed it, checked it out. I was like, I have to put a VPN in mine and tell it that I'm in Dallas to be able to watch that.
Right.
I don't live in a low-cast city yet.
As we try to keep these podcasts to 30 minutes, we'll put links in the description to the things we talked about today, and we'll pick it up on the next one. See you soon. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. But remember, if smart home stuff interests you, and if you're listening to our podcast, we sure hope it does, be sure to check out our latest smart home videos on our Smarthome Riggs YouTube channel. And thanks again for listening to our podcast. We'll try to post new ones weekly, so come back and check us out. Smarthome Riggs, helping your smart home tech work for you.